This is Roger Matthews, and I'm going to cover how to copy a VHS tape to a DVD, which then can be copied to a PC as a video file and edited. In order to do this, I'm using the Magnavox ZV427MG9 DVD VCR recorder, and this very nice device will make this possible. It's pretty much impossible to do a backup without using the remote, so make sure you have the remote on hand to get to the setup screens and so forth. This is pretty much essential. For the first step is to turn it on, and hopefully we'll get an image up on our television. Okay, we're going to attempt to transfer a tape of Zella Matthews and Carl Matthews visiting Barb and Doug Vershavy in Washington, D.C. in 1991. So first step is to put the tape into the unit. And then I like to play a few moments just to make sure that it works. So hit the VCR button. There's a VCR button and a DVD button. If you hit the VCR button, then the play functions control the VCR. So we'll hit play. And it looks like it's working okay. Okay, so I'm now going to stop it and rewind it. So that it's back at the beginning of the tape. Now I'm going to insert a DVD. Now, in the manual, I don't recall the exact page, but there's a page where it describes what tapes that you can use. It has a list of acceptable tapes. Here we go. There's a list of acceptable tapes. I don't know if you can read that or not, but one of them is TDK DVD-R Plus, and this is TDK DVD-R Plus. So I make sure you get one of the ones on that list just to make sure you don't have any problems. You take a blank DVD, press the DVD open close button, and open it up and put a blank DVD in. Basically on the remote, and you've got the tape positioned at the beginning, you just press the button, that red button that says dubbing. That starts the process. It's now, and it's real time copying in the sense that if it's an hour-long VHS tape, it's going to take an hour to record it over to the DVD. So if you have 10 hours of tapes, it's going to take 10 hours to do this. So basically I'm done now until until the tape finishes copying. So I'll just keep an eye on it from time to time. I can go do something else, and then when it's done, I'll get a menu that says that it's done and it's ready to finish up. You can put several short tapes onto one DVD as long as you don't exceed an hour, but it's not necessary to do that, as DVDs are fairly inexpensive, so it doesn't matter that much. The big thing to watch out for are tapes that are so long that it fills up the DVD and you actually need to use a second one. There's no problem with that. It's just that you have to pay attention when it stops to whether the DVD is full or not. The message you should be able to tell. If it's full, then you'll want to put in another DVD and finish the job. You might even consider backing the VHS tape up a little bit and then starting the recording from that point so that you have a little overlap in the video. It's easy to cut out a little overlap with an editor. And one thing that you have to remember, and I'll go over this when this is done, is at the end of every single copying effort, you must finalize the DVD. This is a new thing. You probably haven't done much of that. But with this, you must finalize the DVD in order to make it usable. So I'll cover that when this is done. So the tape is now going to go ahead and play. There's Barb and Doug in Washington, D.C. It says Lieutenant Colonel Vershavy over their door, if you caught that.
I'm not going to get very much.
So this one finalized itself. Now what that means is that the disc, that the tape is not finished recording. So what I'm going to do is pop the disc out. This disc is finalized. I'm going to put another disc in. If it's finalized, that means that it finished. So now I'm going to click the VCR button here, and it says loading. You have to wait for a moment until the loading gets done. It takes just a moment to do that, so you just wait. It has something to do with getting the DVD ready to burn. Okay. So now I'm going to press the VCR button, and it says 1 hour and 5 minutes, and I'm going to back it up just a little bit. So I'm going to hit the rewind button, and I'm going to rewind it for just a couple of minutes, a minute or so. It's 1:05:13. So that's 1:03. So I backed it up 2 minutes. That's just to make sure that I'm ready to record. Now, I'm going to hit the dub button, the red button that says dubbing, and that will cause the second DVD to start recording at 1 hour and 5 minutes. I'm glad that we had this particular DVD because this was an example of one that was over and required 2 DVDs instead of just one. If it was only one DVD, then it would not finalize, and you'll see that on this one, because when this one gets done copying, this one will not finalize, and we'll have to manually finalize it. This one is finalized. Now, while that's playing, well, I can't do it right now. When this gets done, I'm going to pull the DVD out and look at what's written on it and make sure that what's written on the VHS tape that I write on here with the pen. Now, the kind of pen that you use, you only want to use magic markers. I get the really fine magic markers that are really fine points. But only with a magic marker do you ever want to write on a DVD. So when this is done, then we'll write the name of the DVD on here, and this will be 1 of 2. And then on the one that's in there, I will write the same exact name and then 2 of 2. And that way, when you get a stack of DVDs, then you'll be able to tell them apart. This is a group of DVDs that I've done before. I did before. You can see that represents one heck of a lot of VHS tapes. And this is 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. This says 1993 Missouri River Trip 1 of 2. Okay. So it looks like the video is done. I see that the taping is still continuing. So the tape is continuing to go, but there's no more video. The video is obviously done. So I think at this point we'll just hit the stop button on here, and that will stop the dubbing. Now it says it says writing to disk, and then it says please finalize the disc when the writing is completed before playing back on other DVD players. Now this is what you will always get if there's not enough on the tape to completely fill the DVD. On the first half of this tape, the disc completely filled up, and so the writing happened automatically and the finalize happened automatically. which tells you there's more on the tape to copy. But on the second half, obviously we didn't fill the DVD, and so it goes through this automatic writing process, and then you get this where you see one up there, which if you look closely it says 27 minutes. Well, this will hold, and then there's empty is 34 more minutes. So what we now need to do is finalize the disc, and it's not obvious how you do that, and that's one reason I'm making this tape. The first thing you do is you press the stop button, this little black square, to stop it. Then you click the setup button. There's a disc menu, and then there's a setup button. You press the setup button, and then you scroll down to Disk Edit. And then you scroll down to Finalize, and then you say Finalize Disc Yes. It's not obvious how you do that, so remember that you stop the video, and then you press Setup, and then you go to Finalize, and then once the finalizing is done, then you can take this disc out, and it's complete. Now, interestingly enough, the finalizing process, the emptier the disc, the longer it takes. A disc that's completely full will finalize in a few seconds. A disc that is almost empty will take minutes to finalize. This one is half full, so this one should go reasonably fast. You can see it says 18%, and it will 19%, 20%, so it's a fifth of the way done finalizing. This process, finalizing, must be done in order for the DVD to be usable. %. Once it gets to 100%, then we can eject the disc, and we're done. And we can also eject the tape. It says 100% finalized, but it's there we go. And it comes back to this menu. But basically, now that it's finalized, we are truly done. So now I can eject the disc. I'll also put press VCR on here. Seems like a reasonable thing to do. And then rewind the VCR before I take it out, if I want to rewind it. So I'll go over here and press so now I'm rewinding the tape. So this is the first disc that I did, and this is the second disc. So I don't want to lose track of this. This is disc 1 of 2. This is disc 1 of 2. Disc 1 of 2, and this is disc 2 of 2. I'll make sure that's straight. As soon as the tape gets done rewinding, there we go, and I'll eject the tape. And the tape label says Washington, D.C., 1991. So I'll write on here Washington, D.C., 1991. Zella and Carl visit Barb and Doug. And Mike and Melody. I'm not sure how they got into it, but I saw them on the last half of the tape, and they were in Washington, D.C. So I'll put the same thing on this one. Washington, D.C., 1991. D.C., 1991. Zella and Carl Visit, Barb and Doug, and Melody and Mike. So now I have 2 discs on them. I've written on them the same information that is on the tape. All of the information that is on this, you want to make sure you capture it, because this is the only record you have of what this is. Now that we've done that, this tape can now be put into a permanent storage. It will degrade 10% every 5 years, but at least we have now made a digital video copy of it. Next, I will show you how to put this onto your PC and how to put it together into a single video and edit it on your PC. Okay, here I'm going to show how to bring the videos from the DVD into the computer. So now I'm going to insert the disc 1 of 2 into the computer and open up this is a Windows 10 computer, but it would work the same on any computer. Open up the File Explorer and wait until the DVD appears. Okay, I'm going to double click on the DVD drive. Now this is what you see on the DVD drive. You see an RM and a TS. So you double click on the TS folder and you see all these VOB files. The first one, you see a VOB, a TS VOB, and then you have the VOB 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Each one of them is 104854 KB, except the last one. So these in a row form the video files. All the rest of what's on the DVD you can ignore. So just what I'm going to hold is hold the Shift key down, and then take all of these files, and I want to put them into a folder on my computer. I like to use the video folder, so I'm going to right click and go copy. And these are a gigabyte each, so it'll take a little while. And then I'm going to open up the videos folder, and I'm going to make a new folder over here. Let's see, view, let's see, share, home, new folder. So I'm going to make a new folder, and this one is Washington, D.C., 1991. And I'm going to go into that folder. Now, and then I'm going to just simply right click and go paste, and this will copy these into this folder. You see up here it says this PC videos Washington, D.C., 1991, and this is going to take a little while. Okay, now all 5 of them have been copied over. If we look down here on the left hand side, you can see the BD-ROM, the G drive, the DVD, and you can see the Video TS folder, and then under the Video TS folder are these 5 files here, and I've now copied them up into the Washington, D.C. 1991 folder. So this is now on my PC. So now, since I'm going to put a second DVD in, then I'm going to I have 2 DVDs, and this makes it a little bit more complicated because the VOB files in the 2 DVDs are named the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename each one of these. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what I'm going to do is create a temporary folder. I think that's what I'll do. Temporary. And I'll copy the VOB files from this drive into there. And I'm going to name them 6, 7, and 8. But I need to get into them first. So I'll go into the TS folder. Now notice here we have only 2 VOB files. For the TS VOB, if you forget about, but the numbered 1 and 2. So we're going to take both of those, and the reason that there's only 2 is because there were only a few minutes on this left on the disk to go, so that makes sense. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to put these in a temporary folder, so I'll paste them in there. This is a little tricky because every DVD always names the files the same. VOB1, VOB2, they're all named the same. So when you are trying to combine two DVDs together, then you have to rename one set, or else things will get very confusing. If you rename the second set, then it becomes a lot simpler. Okay, so now I have these two VOB files here. Now remember, up here in the main folder I have VOBs 01-1, 01-2, and so on, 01-5, and then here it's 01-2. So what I want to do is make 5, I want to make these 6 and 7. So I'll go in here and I'll rename this one, go rename. I just want to take that last little number and change it to 6. And take this, okay, and then this last little number and change it to 7. Good. Now I'm going to right click and go cut. Cut is kind of like move, and go back up here and right click and go paste. Now I have 6 and 7. Now I can take these and right click and delete, get rid of the temporary folder. Now I have 6 and 7. So now I'm going to close this. I'm going to show you where to get PowerDirector. Go to the internet. You can go to cyberlink.com, which is the company that makes it. And if you click on products and PowerDirector Ultra, you see they sell it for $80. If you go to Amazon.com, they have the same program, CyberLink PowerDirector 14 Ultra, for $39.84. So that's quite a bit cheaper than $79. This is a disc, whereas this is a download. You can either get a box or a download. If you go to the CyberLink 14 Ultra download, 14 Deluxe download is $69, and here the Deluxe is also $69. So there's no difference, interestingly, between Amazon and CyberLink. But the program that I would recommend is this PowerDirector Ultra. If you can go for this $40 version, it is exactly, as long as you get PowerDirector 14, you're good. And the Ultra, Ultimate, all those are just different variations of it. And I'm not convinced that there's that much more that you get from this over this. So I think if you get the Ultra, you've got everything that you need. Okay, that's pretty much where you can get it. I'm going to open up CyberLink PowerDirector, and first of all, check the file, and okay, I have both of these set to the folder that I'm in. Browse to the Washington D.C. folder. Okay. So the first thing you always do in PowerDirector is you always click on Settings, and you always go to File, and you always make sure the Import folder and the Export folder are both set to the folder that you're in, which in this case is Roger Videos Washington D.C. 1991. Okay, then you go File and Import Media Files, and you select all 7, and then hit Open. I just drag the mouse over all of them so you can see there's a light blue highlight on all of them, and I hit Open, and it'll take a moment to import them all. Okay, there they all are imported. So now I just take all 7 and drag them down to this bar here. If you drag the bar all the way to the end, you can see 4. I'm dragging on the bottom 5, 6, and 7. So there's the end. and it's 1 hour and 32, between 1 hour and 32 and 1 hour and 33 minutes long. So that's how long this video is. Now we can immediately save the video by going produce, clicking produce, and then clicking save as, say, an MP4 video. It's a good idea though to put a title, and that's one thing that PowerDirector allows you to do easily, is put titles in. So let's say I go to the title room and I choose a simple title. Let's say this one here. So I right click on that and I go modify template. Now I can come up and type in whatever I would like. So I will go Washington DC. So I'm going to replace those words with Washington DC 1991. Center that a little bit, and then Carl, Zella, Barb, Doug, and families. Now I can actually go over here. Let's see, where is it? Font. Type. Here we go, and I can hit center. Give me a little bit more of a centering effect. Then I hit save as, and we'll call this Wash DC 91. 1991 title. Okay, and I hit OK, and then I hit save. Now, do you see on the left-hand side that it's right here? I really haven't done anything yet, even though it appears over there. But what I do is I drag this right down here to the very beginning. My mouse is on the left-hand side, right against the left-hand side, and I go Insert and Move All Clips. Poof. Now, if I climb up here, if I click, see where it says Clip, that will play just the clip. If you click Movie, it will play all clips. And so I'm going to hit play. And now I am playing the movie, and you can see it starts with a title. And once the title is over, then it flips to the movie. See how that works? So by clicking title and then I've created a title and I've inserted it right here. So if I hit this little black box, stop, that will take it back to the beginning again. Now when I hit play, the title plays for 10 seconds. If you look down there, you can see the duration time is 10 seconds. So if I hit play, this will go for 10 seconds. You can see the progress bar down here moving. And then once it gets to the video will start playing. So this is... So now you could go produce, click produce up here, wait for a moment for it to get over. With a long hour and a half video like this, it takes a moment or so for it to adjust to the to take it all. Okay, now we're here. So now notice that you have a bunch of selections, AVI, MP2, and so on. I like to go with an MP4. So you choose this H264 and then select the little drop down arrow. See, it's MT2S MP4. I like MP4. The MPEG 460 by 480 is a decent, all the rest of the defaults are decent for this particular video, which is basically a VHS tape updated. So now down here, I'm just going to give it a name. So Washington DC 1991 is fine. And then down here you click Start. And once you click Start, now it's doing something called rendering, producing. This process can take literally an hour or 2 hours. See, you can see a progress bar. It's going, it's moving. This could easily take well, I guess at the speed that it's going, maybe 15 minutes, and then it should be finished. It's going pretty fast, faster than I thought it would. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording of this little video. Okay, now the recording is finished. It says back to the edit page, so we'll do that. And I'm going to go File. Oh, wait a minute. So it finishes there. Okay. It imported the MP4 video. Now I'm going to go File, Save Project As, and I'm going to save it. And it says Documents. I'm going to go down to Videos and go to the Washington 1991. And I'm going to save this as Washington, D.C. 1991. And this is the name of the project. Notice it says save as type PDS, so this will save it as a PDS file. That basically means that when I open PowerDirector, all the things that you see there will still be there. And now I can close PowerDirector now that I've saved the project, and we can go to the 1991 folder, go to Videos, and then Washington, D.C. 1991. And guess what? The PDS file, this is the PowerDirector project, which contains all of this and all of it. And here's the MP4 video that I just made. Now if I right click on that, or for less better yet, let's go view details, so that you can see that the size of this is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 gigabytes. And they've been compressed to 4 gigabytes because MP4 is a compression format. But that's reasonable because these are basically up-converted from VHS tapes. Now if I double-click this, it will open in my player and I can go full screen. And here we are. This is 10 seconds of this, the title, and then it will simply start the video. And while it's a little washed out in the beginning, I can go forward, and the quality of the video, I'll pause it.
This is the Confederate lines are.
I'm kind of zipping forward and backward. So if I stop the video, there's Air Force One and there's the President's helicopter. And the video is the same quality as the VHS tape. We really have not lost any quality. It's a good quality tape, and it has the video and it has the sound. So these are this is of course back when Barb and Doug Doug was in charge of Air Force One in 1991. He was actually in charge of Air Force One. So, and Barb actually flew on Air Force Two. So. That pretty much concludes my demonstration. I'll close that. So, in a nutshell, to remind you, we copied the 5 VOB files from the first tape, and the second 2 we copied them over and then renamed them 6 and 7 so that we could drop them in here and they would be chronological. And then I imported them into PowerDirector and used PowerDirector to produce a 4 gigabyte MP4 file that represents that video. So that's an example of basically going from the full process of starting with a VHS tape, converting it to a DVD, copying the VOB files off the DVD, and this copying of the VOB files is exactly the same with any DVD ever. So you can always copy the VOB files off from a DVD and put them, stitch them together, and you have the video. One could simply play the VOB files, but I think it's more elegant to bring them into PowerDirector, and not only to put them in like this, but you can also put titles in it, and you can actually get much fancier than simply putting titles. You can actually put names in and identify each person as the video plays and so forth. So it's a PowerDirector is amazing. You can see some examples of what PowerDirector will do by going to the internet and going to levsmountains.com. No, My Family Heritage. My-familyheritage.com. And then if you click on exhibits, And the difference between clicking exhibits and clicking Zen Photo is here you see how the menu stays around it, whereas if I go Zen Photo, it goes to a different tab and you see only the videos. It's really the same as clicking exhibits, and you see down here you still have the same information. One is full screen and one is not. If you go to Matthew's exhibits and go to Matthew's VHS exhibits, and then here is 1997 Christmas at Santa, or here's a minute in 1987. Now if I click on this one and it comes up and plays, and you click this little dialog box, notice that we have again 10 seconds of a title, so you can see it playing on the bottom. And then on this particular one, I identify each person as they come up, starting with Carl Matthews, the videographer, Kelly and Angel Wolficle, and then in a few moments their dad will walk into the video. This is a VHS tape, and this is a nice way to use PowerDirector to put names in the videos. And there's, see Joseph Wolficle, their grandfather. Now if I go full screen, you can see that, let's see, thought that would go full screen. I guess not. Now, this is kind of, I'm going to stop this for a second because that was kind of clever what I did at the end. You saw where it had his name on it? What I did is I actually took a picture of the last frame of the video and then turned it into a picture, displayed it for 10 seconds, and put the end on it. So it's just one of the things you can do with PowerDirector. All right, that concludes the demonstration of converting VHS tapes to DVD and copying the VOB files off the DVD onto a computer and stitching them together into a single large video file. Okay.